And I hope, the tour was useful, that you were able to pick up some valuable things because it's one of the British Museum is one of the most significant collections because of the quantity of artifacts that's there, but also some of the very critical pieces, such as the Rosetta Stone, and such as some of the large images that you saw in the downstairs gallery. So today was just an introduction. Actually, it's just an introduction to it because you could do a study in London of just ancient African artifacts. We can go to the British Museum. We can go to the Petrie Museum, which is right around the corner from here. This is the place that has the oldest linen dress in the world and other items. We could go to the Victoria and Albert Museum. We can go to the Horniman Museum. We could go to all of these different collections and find artifacts from classical Africa. This city is just rich with stolen material. So there's a lot to know. We just kind of looked at one small piece of this process. So we in the public have been misinformed to think that the pyramids of Giza, these great pyramids, were tombs. There's no evidence that they were tombs. None at all. And it doesn't even make any sense once we look at the evidence. First of all, there's never been any burial found in any of these old kingdom pyramids. Not one body found. Then you might say, well, maybe the tombs were robbed before the excavators got to them. Well, even with intact tombs, there's never been a body found, ever. Not one. There's no body found. Not only that, but the tombs, people are buried beneath the earth. If, as the Egyptologists tell us with the Great Pyramid, I don't have a board, with the Great Pyramid, the so-called King's Chamber is way up. This is the ground, the chamber. If this is the pyramid, right? You got the pyramid here, and this is the ground. He would have been buried dozens and dozens of feet above ground. There's no precedent for that. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. But because there's some kind of, as they call it, a coffer, or some kind of container that looks similar to a coffin, then there's the assumption that he must have been buried there. Well, where is the body? We don't see any mummies in any of the pyramids. As a matter of fact, if these pyramids were tombs, will show us some evidence there. But explain to us how in the world could Seneferu, the pyramid builder, build 3 pyramids? What did they do? Split his body up? We're going to put part of you here, part of you there, and split you up over here. How can a man have 3 pyramids if these pyramids were tombs? I mean, it's not making any sense when there's no bodies that have been found. Just say we don't know. Now, the later pyramids, in the later time, they were used as tombs. But that's not what the way we used it in the earlier pyramids. So we can't speculate and say that, 1,000 years later it was used for this purpose, so it must have been the same thing. There's so many assumptions, and this may not mean a whole lot to you, but I'm simply saying that in most of the things that we are taught in schools, school books, and so-called documentaries, as well as museums and their placards as they explain what these things are about, these are assumptions that are not backed up by evidence. Now, to me, if what they're claiming, if they're true things, then okay. But we can't allow people to make up stuff because it gives us a totally different and a false view of how the culture is really set up. Hatshepsut comes from a long line of female rulers, but you read the average book and they make her out to be somebody who took some revolutionary, unprecedented step, when the fact is, whenever there is political chaos, then you have a female ruler to stabilize the throne, period. It's the end of the old kingdom, you have a female ruler. End of the middle kingdom, you have a female ruler, or per-ah, and you have that in the new kingdom. Hatshepsut comes from a long line of powerful female rulers. But yet, we're not told that. We're taught that, oh, well, she was kind of man-like because she had a beard too. And she had to make herself up like a man in order to be accepted to the throne because women didn't have that kind of power and might. Well, what about the other women? What about Sebek Neferu Ra in the 12th dynasty? What about the other women? It's the whole line of them. And so I say if we look at the evidence of the open air museum, then the theories about Hatshepsut make no sense. If we look at the actual evidence of what's been found in the pyramids during the Old Kingdom, and no bodies, no mummies have ever been found, it makes no sense. So we got to challenge all of these ideas. So what were they used for? But one of the things that we can say for a fact, whether it is speculation, is that there's something particular about the triangular shape. It has the power of preservation. There have been dead cats and animals found in the Great Pyramid, and they did not decay.